Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to Terratech with me, Lathrix, and of course, welcome to our glorious harvester in the middle of the night. In today's episode, I'm going to be doing something a little bit silly, which very well may not work. We are going to try and convert this lovely monstrosity into a flyer, because I would like to see if something this heavy can be carried by the various movement types of the Hawkeye faction, and to see if we can have a hybrid flyer, being able to land and act completely as normal and take to the skies when areas are simply stripped of their resources and have already been used. I also need to add some of the mining lasers from Geocorp and stuff like that. So, I'll be back in a second once I've harvested a load of stuff, got some more money, and I'm able to purchase all of the rotors needed. It hopefully shouldn't take too long. Also, the game is really weirdly quiet right now. So here's the question: how many of the lovely Hawkeye large rotors will we need to get this thing airborne? I'm thinking, well, I'm hoping maybe as little as 4, but if we go to 6, I think we can make that work too, although maybe we should go down the route of the medium rotors, which aren't quite as extreme. So just for a bit of science, let's quickly place some rotors and see what effect they actually have. And of course, we will use the glorious block known as brackets. Now, these are actually quite big, so I don't know if we can really fit 6 of them on here, but let's just find out. Kind of looks like I'm building a very, very silly version of an umbrella, to be perfectly honest, but perhaps that is exactly what we're building. We'll see how effective it actually is. So, flight blocks, hopefully I've spaced these out well. Yes, I have, in fact, a little bit too far. One goes there, one goes there. Are they the correct way around? I think they are. Oh, there's a thought. Could I put one on the other side, but flip it so it tries to go upwards? I think I have. I think I jolly well have. Okay. That's a good idea. That way we don't need so many and so many different locations to place them. Oh, well, 4 seems like it's just about enough, although of course that's nowhere near the middle. That's good. So we can probably do this without it looking all that silly. I'm happy about this, but let me just get some more resources, get some more money, so I can purchase more items, and then we'll be right back to try this again. It flies! It actually flies! Of course it flies with absolutely no controls, but the whole point is, look, it's actually flying, and you don't want to know how many gyroscopes are currently on the undercarriage, just to make sure this thing doesn't tip. So yeah, we're going to need 6 of these rotor blades, and a few of the smaller rotor blades from Hawkeye, to get this thing to fly at a decent level. Although it could do with a little bit more. The thing is, though, I don't really want to sacrifice any of the armor. And actually, I'm tempted to add some more armor to the back so the weight is more naturally distributed, so then I don't have to have rotors so far ahead. Which would be pretty nice. Although what we could do is maybe have it more like... There we go. Have one here at the very back, one here at the very back, rather than having 2 on each side, and then have a double and another double somewhere closer to the middle. At least the middle in terms of the actual weight distribution. I think I could do that, although I may have to sacrifice the Gatling guns on the top. Which would be kinda sad. Ideas and schemes. I've also went ahead and added some saws to the front of the craft, so now we don't have to constantly shoot if we want to harvest resources. This is particularly useful against things like rocks and all the sorts of crystals which are available in the world. Now I could be using the laser instead, or the mining head drill, which is far better, but I just kind of love the saws. Look at them. Okay then, let's get started building the final product. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have 2 rotor blades over here, and then 2 rotor blades over here, and then we're going to extend this kind of like a shell, so that we can put some more rotor blades on the back. This way, it should be easy enough to balance without too many issues. But the first thing we need to find out is just how far do the 2 rotor blades actually have to be. Also, I just placed one of these somewhere, and I have no idea where I placed it. Most likely under the craft. There it is, I see it, you sneaky bugger. So let's get back to what we were doing, just put that there for now. Make things a little bit easier. So, if I'm lucky, maybe this far apart. I'm really hoping we don't have to build it too far, otherwise it's going to look very, very odd. It's going to look odd anyway, but let's just try and keep it on the regular odd scale, shall we? Oh, just about absolutely perfect. There we go. So what we're going to do is have another one on top of this, unless we can put it underneath. I won't destroy all this section just to put a rotor underneath. It would look better, though. I am so tempted. I guess what I would need to do... Oh, I would have to remove this section. No, that would be far too much effort. This won't look as good, but it will just... It'll keep the natural look of the original build, which is exactly what I want. So from here, let's build backwards as well. Maybe a little bit further than this. Either way, though, let's just see how effective 4 of these rotors are. Actually very close. So the back rotor just needs to be able to keep this thing stable. And since we are using a lot of gyroscopes, it shouldn't really be too hard, honestly. Also, yes, I misplaced that because I am a derp. I will blame the little bit of lag which happened at that time. That's totally the reason that happened, not my own incompetence at all. I don't really know what I'm doing here, honestly. How are we going to shape this back section? Oh, I think I know what we may do. Perhaps we could start here as well, and then have this go upwards, so it's like all nicely connected. It looks a bit more stable. I don't think having something above the delivery cannon actually has an effect. At least I'm fairly certain it doesn't, so... Yeah, let's go with this. Let's see how this ends up looking. Clearly we need more than just one of these rotors, so how about one of these small regular rotors? That is very, very close, but no. If anything, it would be better if we leant slightly forwards. This way, we would massively increase in speed, although it would also drastically reduce our control. I would rather be fast and very, very slow to turn than slow and fast to turn, because honestly, we're only going to use the flight abilities to get out of very, very bad situations. Also, I could totally add one of those there. Is that facing the wrong way? Of course it is. It's Lathrix trying to build something. You can't build the thing correctly the first time. That would be ludicrous. Could I put one of these underneath? I could if I moved all this silly stuff underneath. Like so. Yeah, not so keen on what we're doing down here. I will change that. Let's add one more of these then. What we're looking for is a very slight lean. That's actually a little bit too much. Although we are pretty quick. I mean, yeah, we are very fast. Just bombing a few things casually there. Yeah, that's good. Actually, it's near perfect, but maybe a little bit less lean. Although I was just talking about how, you know, it would be good if we were faster rather than controllable. I still need some control. I still need the ability to turn. And leaning so far forwards means I'm always going to be moving forwards, and I will never turn fast enough to actually get where I want to go. My speech today is terrible, I do apologise, but like I've been saying recently, the migraines and everything, and the lack of sleep because of it, I can hardly even talk. This morning it took me a good 2 hours before I was even ready to start recording. It was rather dreadful. Give me your power. Thank you. So, how are we going to do this then? I do want to keep the small rotor there, though. Oh, maybe we could remove a couple of these from the front and put them underneath at the back. That seems like a decent idea. Let's try out that. Can anyone else see the error in what I was just trying to do? Removing lift from the front and putting it on the back would literally be the worst thing we could do. It just makes everything a little bit worse. So, what could we do then? We could increase the amount of lift. If we were to buy 2 more of these rotor fans, we could put them on these 2 segments, which I think would look very, very nice, and also, it would generate more lift on the front. I think. Well, actually, no, I don't think it will, because all of the white is located here. That would still likely be lift on the back. We are very close, it's just a matter of balance now. Just testing whether or not this will be in front or behind the centre of mass. That is worse? Yeah, that's worse. Okay, yes, we can't put them on these. Oh dear. Back, away from the huge evil truck. Although very soon, with the new update, which is currently in the unstable branch, GeoCorp will be getting their own tracks, and that is going to be awesome. I am trying to wait until it goes to the stable branch, but I am very tempted to go ahead and get 7... I think it's, what, 7.4? Something like that? Oi! Bad. After looking it up, it might not even be in the unstable branch yet. But either way, it will eventually get here, and it's going to be awesome. Again, this is one of those moments I really, really wish they had it so that things like rotors could be on separate bindings whilst you're in flight mode, because I would love so much to have a more standard looking helicopter setup with these lovely fans on the side or something, because that would be awesome and really effective at allowing us to turn around. But before we go back to balancing things, let's have a little bit of fun, and let's see if we can turn this thing into a bomber, because why not? There we are, missiles go on the bottom. The only problem with this is we may end up destroying resource if we're ever, like, over it and we fire by accident, but even so, totally worth it to bomb things. There we are. I like how they tried to kill me. That was nice. Okay, so let's line it up, and let's go. Full forwards. We're currently going at about 60 miles an hour, which isn't fast, but it is at least faster than my ground form, which is pretty good considering how heavy we are. Dropping bombs now. And yeah, that definitely worked. A lot of damage done all along the top. Of course, we can't really turn for another attack run until we land, but it's still pretty nice to know I can do some damage now whilst I'm airborne. I mean, I probably could have anyway, since these are very good at turning. I would just have to be quite far away and quite low down at the same time. Something like this. And the flickering is back in all of its glory. How annoying. Missiles! Can we pretend that worked, just so I would be correct? It'd be nice. There we go, it worked! Just not on the first try. Come on, get higher, get higher, get higher. You're going to be hit by the cannons. Thank you, shields. Ah, cannon fire. Missiles, go. There we go. See, we're totally tactical now. It really isn't too bad, the controls, I mean. The weird thing is, though, if I stop pressing forwards, I will start leaning more forwards, but slow down at the same time. It's bizarre. Because, of course, all of these 5-way hover steering mabobs are all at the bottom here. Where did I leave my recharging area? Is it this one over here? No, this is the main base I'm heading towards. Okay, yeah, we need to turn around. We are the least agile flyer ever. Don't crash into the giant temple, please. That would be awesome. Now, one problem with this build, which is always going to be a problem, and honestly, I think I shouldn't even bother working around, I should just go with, is that because we have all of these lovely 5-way hover steerings on the bottom, if I try to go forwards with them, it's going to push up the entire craft, in that the front of the craft will pitch upwards, and if we try to go backwards, the reverse is true, it will pitch down. Meaning we can't really slow this thing down. If we're going forwards, you can't really slow it down, because if you try and press backwards, the pitch goes lower, and so the rotor blades cause us to go forwards. There's no way to reverse midair or ever simply stay stable. We're always going to be going forwards. And honestly, considering that the whole point of this thing flying is just to get from one area to the next, when I can't be bothered to slowly trudge across the dunes, I really do think we should just go with it. So let's keep on adding these until it becomes unstable. So 3 of them there, let's try and go over that craft and bomb it along the way. And forwards we go. That seems completely reasonable, once again hitting about 60 miles an hour. Oh, come on, don't follow me. There we go, bombs away, and they all horribly missed. The enemy has won. Well done, craft. Well done. There we go, we eventually killed it, just not with the volley I intended to kill it with. Well, it's doing exactly what I wanted it to do, but honestly, I kind of wanted it to do even more. And once again, if we could put rotors and put them on here so that we can control left and right with them, it would be glorious. But of course, to activate these rotors, it's shift, and if you put any other rotors on, it's also shift, hence why these ones are not on a separate control. We can get this thing to go to almost 70, actually. By pressing backwards. Backwards increases the speed. Oh, of course, because these are on shift, these aren't reversing right now. And I'm pitching lower and lower, which is causing me to slowly descend, but it is also increasing our max speed. That's pretty cool, actually. And then if I press forwards, it kind of balances out again. Missiles away! That's awesome. I think our main problem is that we don't have enough bombs. So let's go ahead and add some of these smaller missiles to the front, so that as we fly ever so gracefully above the enemy, we can volley them to death in a lovely bit of hellfire. All the spare missiles are now attached, and apparently the enemy got power back somehow. A little bit confusing, I'll admit, but still. Bombs away, including the small ones, and yes, that was completely devastating. There goes some of its batteries. Glorious. Did I just drop some wood? How was I holding that for so long? Unless I bombed a tree and it was the explosion. I think the next thing we should do is try to mess around with tail wings. Well, any type of wing, actually, to see if perhaps that will allow us to control our flight a little bit better. Because once again, although this isn't the main purpose, being able to be agile, I do want some control, as everything flickers horribly. Missiles away! Almost destroying it that time. So close. Okay, let's see. What will these lovely tails do? Oh yeah, definitely faster at turning, because it is causing us to very slightly rotate. Then maybe adding some regular wings might be a good idea. As in, horizontal wings. If that's what's causing such a great effect, maybe adding a couple of the expander wings here and here might do the same sort of job. I fixed the flickering, and the cause was really silly. The main cause of the flickering was nothing to do with graphics, was nothing to do with things being loaded in too far away or too many things on the floor. It was just that I had a mission which was so far away it couldn't keep us updated properly, and every time it tried to update, it caused that horrible flicker. Look, now I've swapped it to Master Harvester, it's even decreased the frame lag. Well, I didn't expect that. Using both the horizontal and the vertical wings, and yeah, it does have some effect on the turning, although this thing is clearly never going to be graceful at all. But still, at least it helps a little bit. What I think I am going to do, though, is cover this top section with more of the 5-way steering hovers. This way, when we're pressing forwards or backwards, it will have a bit less of an effect on the pitch, and of course, each of them will help with turning, as they will provide some force either left or right once they're pressed. At that point, I think we're done for today's test. This is still a prototype, but I'm going to go off into the creator mode and try to build one there, rather than constantly fighting things here and having to worry about how much money I have left. Now, of course, naturally, we need some lights. And those look awesome. Okay. What else do we have? So this is also from Venture. Yeah, not so great just facing down there, buddy. Can't put it there, otherwise it'd be in the way of a weapon, which goes for actually a lot of these spots, except for there. And there. There we go. Not too bright, but that's fine. Ooh, a spotlight. How bright is the spotlight? Fairly bright. Okay, maybe we can put one of these somewhere over the rainbow. Like there we go. So now we have a few more shining, bright goodnesses. And then we could add some of these as well, because why not? Now, lights do cause quite a bit of lag right now, but I don't care. I like having lights. It's pretty and it's easy to add, which is good for someone as bad at building as me. There we go. Glorious. Maybe a light on the back would be nice as well, though. Good enough. Or maybe we could put it on all 4 pieces. There we are. It's like a little disco light. Lovely. To brighten up your day. And night. One benefit to all of this building, which I completely forgot about, is it's actually increased my speed on the ground and greatly increased our turning because of all of the hovers, and of course we have the rotor blade here, which will go forwards and backwards if you press forwards or backwards when you're in ground mode. So that's very, very nice. And as you can see, after doing a bit more balancing, we are now far more balanced, so we won't tip quite as much when we're going backwards or forwards in air mode, which is really good because it means I won't constantly hurt myself when I try to land, and the front's always a bit too low for that. Turning is still slow. But I've accepted that's just how it's going to be, especially since helicopters right now in this game do need a bit more work, and we've essentially strapped a helicopter backpack onto a resource harvester. Oh, almost didn't hurt myself there. That was my fault for letting go of shift a little bit too early. Okay, yeah, I think I'm very happy with this. I think this is the finalized version for the campaign, although I definitely will go over to the sandbox mode and do a bit of messing around with it. Let's try to land once without damaging ourselves. I think that would be a good way to end the episode, don't you? First of all, though, let's just turn a little bit here, and bombs away! Goodbye, sir. Okay. Ooh, we could kill that guy as well. Okay, let's kill this fellow as well, then we'll try to land somewhere. How does that thing keep getting power back? It's so irritating and so cheaty. Stop being able to repair! Not quite enough. Are those batteries going to go, or are they just damaged? Sadly, just damaged. Okay, let's try to land. This isn't going to go well. I didn't damage myself. Really? That landing didn't hurt me? I mean, why would it? It wasn't like it was a crash or something. Excuse me, trees. Thank you. Back up into the air we go. Against one of the tankiest things I've seen in quite some time. Front batteries are about to blow. There they go. And finally, it's dead. Let's try to land. There we go. Perfect. Ish. Well, I'm afraid I am all out of time for today's episode. If you have enjoyed, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that Terratech is a series you would like to see continued in the future. In the next episode, hopefully, the new beta branch will be out, and I will get to mess around with the Geocorp movement types, and if not, there are still plenty of things we desperately need to do. So thank you so much for watching, and goodbye. I'm actually very happy with how this thing looks. It looks far better than I originally expected, with far more missiles. Thank you again, and goodbye.